Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jared here with my mom.
Hello.
We are heading home after seeing Jackass Best and Last, the supposed final film in the franchise, the fifth major film. And my history with Jackass, definitely grew up with Jackass, Viva La Bam. Big fan of the series. And I saw 3 in theaters, saw 4 in theaters, and had to continue the tradition, even though it's almost out of theaters at this point. But let's just jump right into it. What did you think of the movie?
Overall, I thought it was funny as hell.
I thought it was actually pretty sad, and I definitely think it's time. I think this is definitely, I don't know, it definitely feels to me like it's actually going to be the last film in the series, even though you never know. I didn't really know exactly what to expect going into it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, and I did laugh at a few points, but I don't know. I'm just such a big Bam fan, and I was, such a big Dunn fan back in the day, and they were like a couple of my favorite people on the show, and it just has never been the same without them. I mean, with this film, Bam is back in it, and that is interesting to see. Just some of the old footage that they had of him back when he was a major member, but even more recently, like some of the stuff that he did for Jackass Forever, they showed, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was sad. Like you grow up with these guys, and you just see all the movies, and you just have a connection with them, and it's just over 20 years later, and it seems like it's officially coming to an end. But yeah, I thought the film, I wouldn't say it was bad. I thought it was okay. It featured a lot of old footage, and one of the problems I have kind of with it was they showed a lot of footage that's just in the other films.
That's true. There was only a few scenes, I think, that they did that were not seen in the original other films.
Yeah, I think they did record some new stuff with the new cast members, but I just thought that a lot of those bits, I don't know, they just seemed a little forced to me, and they were kind of I don't know, overacting a little bit. And I just think they're older, their delivery is not as good as it used to be, but I think on the new bits, they were really, really elaborate, and they were kind of long and drawn out. And don't get me wrong, I mean, they were kind of funny at some points, but I just thought the new bits in particular were very, very elaborate for sure. But it was cool to see some never before seen footage. I definitely thought that was interesting. Johnny Knoxville, he gets choked up a couple times in the movie, which was interesting.
I was actually a little surprised to see it the 2 times in the movie, and I had actually recently saw him in an interview, and he got choked up again. It's weird seeing the emotional side of him.
Yeah, I agree. It's just interesting. Once again, they're so much older now, and obviously Johnny's much more in touch with his emotions now than I'm sure he's ever been. And man, I hope Bam and Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine, I hope that they can really sort out their differences and get back to being friends again and being cool, and just being brothers for the rest of their lives. I mean, they already are, but I don't know. I just hope that they can get their stuff back together. I know Johnny and Jeff love Bam. Bam is just, it just seems like he's kind of bitter, but I think he's starting to come around the corner a little bit. I mean, the fact that they once again showed Bam in this film multiple times, and they embraced him, I thought that was pretty cool. And
I think that's been the consensus through this whole ordeal, is that they've been like that towards him.
What do you mean?
like supportive and like including him and stuff like that. It's just up to him to get his life together.
It's so interesting. So like on Jackass Forever, like I said, they shot some stuff with Bam, but only like one scene actually ended up in the movie, and he wasn't even like predominantly in that scene. Like he was kind of like a background kind of dude, character in that one. But it's just interesting on this movie, they kind of showed with the one scene where they, had all the cast, not all the cast members, but some of the cast members in that room with like the supposed rattlesnake and the lights off and all these different gags that they were torturing them with. Bam was actually like one of the main people in that whole bit. And it's just crazy because like in Jackass Forever, when they showed that bit, they didn't show Bam one time. You would have never known Bam had any involvement in that, but they went ahead and showed kind of like the extended cut of that bit in this one. And man, I thought Bam was pretty hilarious in it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think it's very interesting to see Bam, like he's older now, and like just to see him perform. He's had such a rough go like in his life over the past like decade plus, struggling with drugs and alcohol, the death of Ryan Dunn, and just crazy videos, and his son and all that stuff. So I don't know, it was just cool to see Bam in like a newer clip actually performing. Definitely really enjoyed that. The film was only like an hour and a half long, and there's definitely a decent amount of just like the cast members like talking in between the bits and stuff like that. I was thinking to myself, there was a part where Steve-O was talking about how he really wanted to be like
the MVP.
Yeah, the MVP of this movie. Do you think he was?
No. Do you?
No. Like, I'm not saying he was bad or anything, but I just think it's funny how they kind of like made a huge thing about that, but it didn't really feel like he was the MVP of this movie.
No, I think it was probably Johnny.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville is the MVP of this one. But I definitely agree with Steve-O that Aaron was the MVP of the last one. And super underrated. But as far as like some of the new cast members go, it's kind of interesting that they're continuing to include them in this movie after introducing them in the last one. I think some of the newer cast members were more prominent than others. Like Tracy Wolfson, I think she only did like one bit, and it was in the intro. Other than that, she didn't really do much. But you have Jasper and Poopies and Zach. So yeah, it was interesting. I felt more comfortable with them in this movie than I did in the last one, if that makes any sense. Like the last one, I was a little skeptical. I'm just like, who are these new guys? Right. But this one, I was more like laughing at some of the stuff with them.
I agree, but I still don't think that they're like up to Jackass like caliber, because like their stunts are very minor compared to what they've always done, the previous cast members.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. They'll never ever be a part of like the true brotherhood, in my opinion. But I get like including new people and also just more diverse, male, female, black, white. So I get it from that standpoint. But yeah, definitely some were more prominent than others. I thought Poopies was pretty prominent in this one.
He would have been my second MVP for the movie.
They did that bit with the lip injections on him, and like I don't really remember seeing the the lip injections like the rest of the movie. Maybe like one other time.
It looked very minor. I think it wasn't like I was expecting it to be like the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and then they had that like robot that they were like doing bits with. Did you find the robot funny?
No.
Yeah, I didn't really find the robot funny either.
Actually, I thought it was kind of dangerous, like them using the robot to do some of the stuff that they were doing. Very dangerous.
Man, speaking of dangerous, I think the scene out of the whole movie that was like kind of the scariest to me, I mean, as far as new footage goes, was like the opening scene where Johnny like shot himself. That was like pretty
Yes.
crazy. I was like,
I was having a hard time watching that.
yeah, definitely. That was a heck
We all
of.
know that he's okay, like now, but like to see that like being filmed is pretty scary.
Yeah, I had never even heard about that bit or anything, so that was a heck of a way to open the movie. But any other thoughts in general?
No, I just agree with some of the points that you made with like I wish that like the new cast members would have had more major roles, I think. I don't know if that was one of your points, but I feel like they could have featured them more, so maybe in the future we could have another Jackass, but overall I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Once again, I thought it was okay. Didn't think it was great. And I really left the movie just feeling sad. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just, I'm going to miss those guys if this really is it. I laughed a decent amount of times. Nothing crazy. I think I probably laughed more at this movie than I did Jackass Forever. But yeah. Definitely see it in theaters if you can. There's probably not a lot of time left. I was looking at how it's doing in the box office, and I checked the other day. It cost about $10 million to make, which actually isn't that much. And they've made about $25 million. It's been in theaters for almost a month now, which it's a net gain. It's a positive, but I'm sure they want to make way more than just doubling their money.
Right.
But I can't say I'm super surprised because, it seems like they're phasing this movie out, I don't know if I'd say quickly, but quicker than I thought they would in the theaters. And I think that might be why, because, it's not doing, the absolute best. But that's pretty much it. Jackass, best and last. That's what it's called, right? Best and last. Got a picture of the poster out front. If you've seen it, what did you think? What do you think about the whole Bam and Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine saga? Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. And we're going to head on out. Please comment, like, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.